I'm Robert Knepper.
I'm Sarah Wayne Callies.
I'm Robert Knepper.
Get out. Get out.
That's Don Purcell.
That's Don Purcell.
Get out.
Hey, Robert.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey, Sarah. So, Robert, you actually got some closure on T-Bag in the spin-off Breakout thing. That spin-off.
Well, I thought I had closure.
Did you?
What was it like after that to revisit T-Bag again?
It was, our feeling, I think, and this came from Paul, is let's go back to the first season. Let's go back to the richness of that writing and that relationship, and it almost didn't matter how it evolved over the years. It was the richness of that, for me at least, that first season that made us go. And the beautiful thing about it, as I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, I thought, how great is it that we did play these characters years ago. At the same time, when we came to the set, I never felt like, oh, this is nostalgic. Hey, Sarah, do you remember when we used to?
No.
That was like a bunch of actors going, shit, I got to figure this out right now, today.
Yeah.
Telling the story. And because we had played the characters before, there was this confidence. There was this ease.
Yeah.
And an ability to say, let's try something new. Let's make it simpler. Let's make it more dangerous. It just...
Well, it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
And so I think two things happen. One is that the character evolves because it's been 7 years in their life. But the other one is, God willing, we evolve. And
we certainly have.
Yeah. I mean, I better be a better actor than I was 7 years ago, or I've been wasting my time.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you could have been better. Like you kind of knocked it out of the park the first time, but I think we all want to bring more to it.
I feel like I'm a better person. I'm a different person than I was 7 years ago. And it was great to be able to walk onto the set and have people say, like Sarah, like she and I hated each other as characters years ago, and now to have this sort of conflict with character with each other, like I saw people like, I hugged Dom over there, like, what? You guys are hugging? People confused between the characters and the actors. I was always this guy that could hug Dom years ago, but we were not this way years ago. And now the characters go, I need you. How can I figure out how to get what I need from you? I still don't totally trust you, but there was much more of a camaraderie.
Yeah, there was, for sure.
So you would say that the new episodes are less about nostalgia, more about continuation, something new in the story, right?
Yeah, I mean, Paul was the brain behind season 1 and season 2, and then he left the show, and now he's back, sort of masterminding season 5, and I think that gives us. I can't imagine what the inside of his brain looks like, but he's got this sort of labyrinthine way of seeing things, and he lays things out and lays them in, and I think that's exciting for us as actors. But I don't think this is a nostalgia piece. I actually think that they've updated it in a way that really dials into a current sort of geopolitical world that makes it really relevant. And I think parts of the story that are being told are pretty brave and pretty risky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where is it that we catch up with Sarah in her life? What is she up to at this point?
Well, in a lot of ways, she's a radically different person because she's now a wife and mother and has been for the last 7 years. And a woman raising a son who she believes is the son of the dead love of her life. And I think without that son, Sarah probably wouldn't have come back from her grief. But at a certain point down that rabbit hole, I think she looked at this little boy and went, my grief is a luxury you can't afford, so I'm going to get on with it. I'm going to express my fidelity to your father by raising the hell out of you, by making you I will pour my love for him into you. And I think when we catch up with her, her son's 7 years old and he's at an age where he's looking and acting more like his father every day, which is devastating and beautiful at the same time. She made a decision to not raise him alone. She found a man willing to take what she had left to give. She's remarried. There's no pretense of like, this is the love of my life. This is a comfortable companionship. We're good to each other. He's good to the kid. It's working. Is it the happiest she's ever been? No. But she's doing what needs to be done.
So however Michael is back, the idea that he told her he was dying from a brain tumor must not sit well with her when she sees him again. How is she going to deal with that?
Well, I think there's so many emotions that come up initially when she's confronted with what appears to be evidence that Michael is back. I think doubt is a huge part of it. But I think also a lot of those emotions have to do with a feeling of betrayal. Where have you been all these years while I've been raising this child on my own? And did you love me? You know, because over the 4 seasons, it doesn't take that long. It's like a year and a half in the lives of these people. So I think she starts to question, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I built this thing up in my head. And then somewhere behind that, I think, is faith, is a sense that this is a good man who does the right thing whenever he can. So there must be a reason for this. And I got to find that reason out. But it's a very uncertain thing. And
can I just add something real quick here? I remember watching the show and thinking, God, I love Sarah's acting. And you have this great knack of like not looking people in the eye until you really need to look at them. And I thought, oh, I wish I could do that, because you hate TV actors that go, I'm watching you. I'm always never looking away from that one eye, right?
I appreciate the compliment, but realize that most of that is because I was fucking with syringes for the whole first season. Like, putting on gloves.
The reason why I bring it up is now she and I have some really beautiful, juicy scenes together, and I go, wow, I get to act with that person that I used to just watch on TV.
I felt the same way. I remember watching that first
season. I get goosebumps
season.
thinking about it.
Because we never worked together first season. And I remember watching it and I was like, oh, he's doing that? Wow! It was amazing.
No,
you guys just mentioned just recently here about growing as actors over the 7-year period. I mean, when you look back to when you played the characters originally, what aspects in particular have grown for you in your career and the way you play characters and act? Are there certain elements that have grown?
I know for myself, if you look at what I did in the pilot compared to what I did in even the end of the first season, it's like night and day. I think I even changed the way I sounded. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking, there's that riot that T-Bag starts in the first or second episode I did, and he says, I hate blacks. I hate black people. That's why I'm starting this riot. And then somewhere in my head I went, ooh, what if I started sounding black? Wouldn't that be kind of an interesting juxtaposition, going like, and then like imitating what he thought African Americans sounded like, and I thought that then became part of the character. I mean, I was rehearsing as I was shooting.
You learn a lot about it.
Totally. I think you look at a lot of series like that, and the actors
things evolve. They do. I mean, because partly your work has to do not only with what you're doing, but with the people that you're working with. I mean, there's a part of me that believes that you're never better than your scene partner.
Right.
I think I've gotten braver. Andy Lincoln and John Bernthal are two of the best acting teachers I ever had, and they're just unbelievably brave actors, and they're willing to look like assholes. You know what I mean? Because you take risks, and sometimes you're like, wow, that didn't work. And sometimes you figure that out in the course of shooting, but sometimes you watch it and you're like, oh god, egg all over my face.
But at least you were willing to take that chance.
At least you're willing to take a chance.
Egg in your face, because then beautiful things can happen.
Yeah, and that to me is the biggest difference. I'm coming into this. There are whole scenes that I haven't seen, and I have no idea if they're going to work. But I wasn't interested in the safe version of it. So hopefully it's better. I don't know. You may watch it and be like, ooh.
Mark, right? Like Jake? Mark?
Yeah, Mark Feuerstein.
I was a scene up one day when Sarah and Mark had this scene, and it's just two people. It's the old-fashioned, like, put in a scene with two actors and just let them go. And the feedback after you guys had finished the scene, Nelson was like, you're not going to believe the scene I just witnessed between these two actors.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. It was the basement scene, or I don't want to give away the plot.
Yeah.
I don't like giving away the plot. But yeah, it was just moment to moment to moment to moment to moment, playing ball, whatever image you want to put in there.
That's cool.
It's great to hear it resonates for all of us.
Well, and Mark was a great addition to the cast too. There's the gang that you've seen, but then we've got Augustus Crew, and we've got Mark Feuerstein, and there are some really amazing new faces who've come on and given us new people to play with. You've got a fun. You and Paul Edelstein got to do a
Oh my God!
cool scene together.
Edelstein,
I came
yeah.
in early to watch it. I was like, I just want to watch these guys
Agent Kellerman.
do what you're doing. Who says hi, by the way? He just like sent a text. He was like, tell them all hi. So Paul Edelstein says hi.
When you mentioned the 7 years, did the filming itself change dramatically? Like the production, shooting new episodes years later?
Well, we're not shooting on film anymore.
All right.
I mean, when we started, we were changing
And this
mags.
was a whole new crew too. This was Vancouver,
one of the
not
approach
Chicago or Dallas. And they were an amazing crew, by the way. They were a well-oiled machine
They were wonderful.
right from the get-go.
You know what? I think we had some continuity in that Jeff Mygot, who was the director of photography for seasons
Yes.
3 and
That's
4.
true.
Did he do 2 as well?
He might have done 2. He was definitely 3 and 4.
He did 3 and 4 for sure. He was the director of photography for
Yeah,
this.
that
So
was
there was the
consistent,
continuity of the look and of shooting our faces and stuff. I think they tried to stay true to it, and I know that Nelson McCormick,
Nelson, the directors.
he had directed an episode in season 2. He came back and was our supervising producer. Guy Furland, who directed his very first episode of television ever.
Really? I didn't know that.
Season 1 was Guy's
Oh,
first
you
episode of
did.
television ever, and then he came on and did a bunch of Walking Dead, killed me in Walking Dead, for which I won't hold that against him. And we become great friends. And then he came on and did 2 episodes of Prison Break. So there was a lot of continuity in that.
That was another interesting thing too. Directors usually did 2 episodes on this,
Yeah.
which was great. You weren't feeling like, oh my God, I got a new person every time.
Yeah.
And we know the characters a little bit more. There was a sense that everyone knew, everyone was on the same
Yeah,
page.
we had 4 directors in 9 episodes,
Yeah.
which was great. It was great.
When you got the call there, this is coming back up. Was there thought because you're working and saying, when can I find it? It's time to do it?
Well, we're all on other shows, and the Tetris of making everybody's schedule work, I don't know who it is, but there's somewhere in some office, there's someone who deserves an award for just figuring out. So we
The
started
schedule,
shooting, they wrapped Legends of Tomorrow. I almost said Legends of the Fall. They wrapped Legends of Tomorrow.
I heard you going there.
on a Friday. We started shooting Prison Break on a Monday. I finished my part of Prison Break on a Thursday, started shooting Colony on a Monday. So it was tight, but there was a lot of goodwill, I think, on the part
Yeah.
of the studios that we work for, just saying, go back to your old family, get your work done, and come back and come work for us again.
Well, it's good PR for those shows too.
That's true.
This wasn't just any old show. This was.
That's true.
This was and still.
You mean it's
feels,
not entirely selfless that my
No.
boss just let me?
No, they used us.
Fair enough.
Well, challenging for you guys to play different characters in such a short amount of time, right? Expanded amount of time, jumping around from show to show, character to character.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like the old days when you learn. And for me, I studied for the theater, and rotating rep. You played 3 different plays in one weekend. So that's how we're trained, and luckily we get to keep using those muscles.
Yeah.
But she was
It's
bopping
what
all
makes
over the
it
place
fun.
between things. Yeah.
But it's what makes it fun. I mean,
Exactly.
there's something great about coming in, to a confusing moral universe, a simple moral universe. It's great. It is it's why you're an actor.
And there's that little, I think athletes probably feel the same way. There's that slight nervousness when you're starting something that you go, oh, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be good? And I think that's good. The day that you stop feeling that way is like, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore because I don't know how to create anymore.
Yeah. You gotta be a little scared.
There was that little twinkle in all of our eyes, I think. This time around, I could see it more. It was just more a relaxed pace in our heads of going, oh my God, am I going to be able to? Well, I did do this years ago, and now I get to go back and do it with ease.